is the 4th September 2011, and we are having session number 5 of MNC4. I'm going to have quickly running through a summary that we have had about awalim and universes. And if you remember, I said that the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is based on what we refer to as circle of existence, or circle of wujud. And remember, I said the first universe of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is universe of Ilah, or universe of Allah. And in that universe, Asma'ullah, or the good names or names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, are the particulars of that universe. And the manifestation of that universe is the lower universe, which is intellectual universe, or universe of Aql. And we said about it, I remember I went through a little bit of disengagement process, and I showed you how things are getting disengaged and how everything is coming from top to bottom. And the first, after the universe of Allah, it reaches to universe of Aql, or intellect. And then it comes down to universe of Barzakh, or imaginal level. And that manifestation of imaginal universe is universe of matter. This is what we all very well understand and know about it, and we don't need any really proof or anything to show that it exists. And then all of this was called, who remembers what is this circle coming down to the material level? Descending arc. Good on you. So this is descending arc. But then when we are just being conceived in mother's womb, that we are starting our ascending arc. And that is, we are starting to come to the material world. And gradually, by growth, we come and we get birth and come to this world. And we continue our ascending arc and go towards imaginal level. And our imaginal level is after we die. And that is where we go. That is called Barzakh. And from there, we are going to carry on. When Barzakh is over, we will carry on to go to intellectual level again, which is called Qiyamat. But remember, one important thing here is, when we say here, universe of Barzakh, in both sides of ascending and descending arc, it doesn't mean that we are going back to where we have been. Basically, it's only reflecting that they are the same nature. Nature of the universes are the same. Not that we are going back to where we have come. That's not possible. So the whole existence is about moving forward. There is no backward movement. It is only showing, even when we go to Qiyamat, it doesn't mean we have been in the same universe. We have had the same type of universe when we have come down. That means, what was the characteristic of those universe of Aql? Who can tell me one important characteristic of intellectual universe? Yes? Yes? No space, no time, no dimension, no image, right? So that is the level of meanings, right? And so this circle is showing, having two intellectual and two barzakh, it only shows that you are having the same type of, we experience the same type of universe. And you remember that in the previous MNCs, MNC 1 and 2, those who have attended, you remember we said that the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is for His creatures to know Him. You all remember? And then we said it was based on, and everything started based on the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which was this hadith, famous hadith of Kanz. Who remembers the hadith? You remember? What was it? Ahsan. إني كنت كنزا مخفيا فأحببت أن أعرف فخلقت لكي أعرف. So that is basically the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is no relationship to time and space or anything like that. These are all creatures. So these are where we explained that how 4 elements are by conversion, 4 elements by conversion into food and to our body parts, it starts the material world. The material world works on that basis. And then when the zygote is created, that's where our ascending arc continues. And then in our ascending arc, we come from, though you look at those right, there's the first cell and then the multiplication, and then that is how the zygote grows to gradually towards an embryo. And also when you look at a plant, if plant also has the same thing. When there is a seed of the plant under the earth, it also goes the same ascending arc. You all remember this, right? So who can tell me in few words the descending arc in a plant? This is ascending arc. When you put a seed under the earth, it starts to grow. So on an ascending arc, it grows up. But where is the descending arc of the plant? Okay, the descending arc, I was hoping at least someone would know. Okay, no discussion. Let me tell you. Please. The descending arc of a plant is when you have a plant growing, when that plant grows, in the same cycle that this plant is on the ascending arc, the whole existence of the plant is working towards bringing the plant towards fruition, and it gives fruit. So gradually everything is being extracted and being collected from all parts of the plant and going to that flower when most of the fruits start with a flower. And that is when the fruit start to take shape. So when that fruit takes shape, if you notice, it's just a matter of noticing. If you notice what is happening, for instance, in an apple, that apple is taking shape, it's coming from that little bud and growing up and becoming bigger and bigger. Inside the apple, there are some seeds are being made. So those seeds are in descending arc. So then the apple that is going to come from that apple seed in the future is in the descending arc, which shapes up in the seed of that apple, which is in the tree, in the plant. Does that make sense? Or I only said it for myself. Shamsi, did you understand what I said? Yes? Okay. See, when a fruit is growing, when a plant is making a fruit, while the plant itself, all parts of the plant are on ascending arc, because they are ascending, they are going towards higher awalim or higher levels of their wujud. At the same time, a fruit is being made in them. Each of those fruits, they have got some seeds in them, right? So those seeds, before they become a seed, while they are being formed and shaped up in the tree, those seeds are in descending arc, because it's a continuous work in the plant which is happening, which is creating those seeds inside the apple fruit on the tree, right? Those seeds which are inside the apple on the apple tree, those seeds are in the descending arc. Because what happens when they reach and they become a seed, basically they have finished the descending arc, and they can start to grow from that apple. Sorry, it seems I'm not able to make it. Who has understood what I said? Okay. I will ask someone to come and say. Once more I say. Who has understood what I said? Okay, that's too little. Fine. Anyway, we pass on. It's going to take some time. So this is the work of team leaders. We don't have more time than this. If team leaders did not understand, I should find another team leader for them. Okay, so this is again an ascending arc. That shows the same type of thing in animals, in human, and then universe of barzakh. Let me see. So basically, I don't want to say more than this about awalim. We have spoken 2 or 3 full sessions about awalim, and we concluded that material universe that we are in at the moment is the lowest of the lows, and he related that to ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ فِي أَسْفَلِ السَّافِلِينَ, which is in Quran. And from here on, I started to talk about matter, what matter is. And I spoke about few concepts of the matter. The first and foremost concept of matter I start from here. Foundation of knowledge is presence. I want this to be understood. Foundation of knowledge is presence. Do you remember I spoke about this? What does that mean? That means if any knowledge is going to be gained, there must be a presence of the known for the knower. You all understand? I want your holy attention, please. I send you this. If you want, I will email this to you. Just listen. Let me have your attention. When we want to know about something, for us to make the process of knowing that thing is based on the presence of that thing. Thing means whatever you can call, whatever is called, you can call it thing. Whatever object. So whatever, when we will come to know about something, the foundation of that knowledge is presence. That means that we have to have there must be some presence of the known or that object. That object is going to become known to us, right? That's why I refer to it as known. That known must become present in us. How? How would that happen? So how many types of knowing do we have? I said there are 3 levels of knowing. Who knows? Sensual, imaginal, intellectual. So basically, let's speak about the sensual knowledge. Sensual knowledge is when all 5 senses that we have, they start to collect forms. What I call forms, what I mean by form. We have seeing form, we have hearing form. What is seeing form? When you look at me, you close your eyes, you have taken a seeing form of me. That means this is, they call it surat mubsare. That means you have an image of me, that is a seeing form in you. When you are hearing my voice, you are having a hearing form of me. When you are hearing a music, you are having a hearing form. If you are tasting something, you are taking a tasting form. What happens that your nafs, yourself, you are collecting forms from every object, depending on what of these forms are being relayed to you. If you're looking at it, of course, seeing form is relayed to you. If you are hearing it, hearing form is being relayed to you. If you are tasting it or if you're touching it. So these are all these 5, any of these 5, or a combination of these 5. You can sometimes, for instance, you are seeing me and you're hearing me too at the same time. So you're taking 2 sensual forms of me. So there are 2 sensual knowledge you're getting from me. Okay? Clear? Boring? Sorry, some of these things might sound boring, but you have no choice than learning it. Otherwise, I cannot continue and discuss further issues with you. So, the sensual knowledge is when you get to know any object through one of your 5 senses or a combination of your senses. And any of those senses, when they work, your senses work and they collect from the object one type of form. It's either hearing form or listening form, seeing form, or tasting or smelling or touching form. Correct? By any of this. For instance, I might be blind and deaf, or my nose be not smelling very well, but I can touch something. And if I have a previous knowledge about it, I'm collecting touching form. When I touch something, I collect touching form. If the same thing once more is put under my hand, tomorrow, I can think and feel and find out, oh, this form is the same form, and this is the same velvet that I was touching yesterday. So we get to know things through 5 senses. So this is our sensual knowledge. So the question here is this. In this sensual knowledge, how is it happening? If you look at these pictures, they're showing that the image of those objects that are being seen are taken shape or are becoming present in the seer and the person who is seeing it. Unless this union is happening, unless this presence is happening, there's no way to see anything. When you are looking at me, basically my image is being present in your nafs, in you. You are looking at you are having my image on you. How? The proof of it is when you close your eyes, you still see me. Can't you, Ghulam? Yes? Close your eyes. You see me? So that proves that without even you look at me, because if your origin of seeing me was only myself, when you close your eyes, you should not be able to see me. Why you can see me? Basically, that means you are seeing the image of me in you. Okay? So that image is present in you because it's with you. If you go away from here, you go to the street, tomorrow at your house, you can again remember me. So that means my image is present in you. Correct? It's not only about the pictures, Sarah. It's also about when you hear my voice, when you are at home, you can remember my voice as well, right? And that is again shows while you're not so close to me and you're not hearing myself. That means my hearing form is present in you. So there is a union between you and the form that you have taken from me today. Similar thing for image, for taste. Similar thing when you taste. For instance, you eat biryani kashef. You keep the taste of it in you, right? The taste buds take it. So there is a form that it is present in you. Because tomorrow when you think about it deeply, you want again to go back and eat some biryani, provided you're hungry enough. So all of these forms are present in our nafs. Within those forms we create a knowledge which is called sensual knowledge. So similarly, we have got imaginal knowledge and we have got intellectual knowledge. That means you have to have imaginal form of an object, or you have to have an intellectual form of an object. There are certain things that you do not see them, and they are explained. And for instance, concepts that we talk about. When we talk about the concept of wahy or revelation, this is not something that you can see. There is no sensual knowledge about revelation. But here there is an intellectual knowledge. So there is an intellectual form that you all collect, and based on that you get to know what wahy is. Correct? I hope you understand. If you don't, say, I have hearing problem. The same thing about app. What I said, we take sensual forms to get to know something. Similarly, there are imaginal form and there are intellectual forms. And then I explained intellectual form is when you are explained about a concept. For instance, the concept of revelation, the concept of, let's remember the concept that Imam Ali alayhi salam, in the last MNC I explained Hadith Marefat Nafs of Imam, and I said how he has explained that we have got 4 nafses, right? 4 souls. You all remember this? Who do you remember? You all remember? Come in. What were the nafses, the 4 souls? Plantic, animal, human or intellectual, and universal. So you learned Fadak that we have got 4 souls, and then each soul has got its own characteristics and faculties, and we have got faculties of growth and reproduction for plantic soul, and we have got faculties of 5 senses for animalistic soul. These are totality of it is a concept that you learned about yourself, right? This as a whole is an intellectual form for you. So whenever you refer to nafs, nafs insan, human soul, then that form comes to your mind immediately. So you realize, yes, human soul is made of these things. That is intellectual form. That is intellectual knowledge. Okay? So let's go to the issue of matter. And what we said about matter is the realm of absence. Correct? We said knowledge is based on presence. Knowledge is based on presence. But we discussed and we showed, if you look at this as a matter, all parts of this matter are absent from each other. No part of this matter is present to the other side. You can, in your imagination, you can make these thousands of pieces, but never any piece is present to the other piece. The maximum closest they can get together, for instance, these two, I showed two different objects. The maximum they can get close together is this. This is the maximum presence they can make. But they see they're far away. This is not the real presence. But so this makes material word word of absence, and because of this word of absence, there is no knowledge for matter. So matter does not have any idrak or any perception. But when it comes to us as human beings, we are able to do perception and idrak because we are able to create an image. We take an image from an object, that image of that object, honey, becomes present in ourself. When you are looking at me, how do you see me? My image is present in you, correct? So, but when that comes to matter has got that issue is not able. In the material level, there is not such an ability of presence of one side or one part of it to the other part. And we said in the nature, when you look, the first place that there is the smallest, slightest idrak and perception is made is where? In the nature. In the ascending arc of the nature. Where is the first place that we see there is some presence is being made and some knowledge and perception is being created? Yes, Fatima. Ahsan. When the moment there is a soul is created, that is the first level that ascension starts. What does that mean? That, for instance, when you look at the nature, when you look at the plants, in plants there is all presence. We discussed it in MNC 1 or 2 or both of them, that when you look at the plant, for a plant, the soul of a plant has got full presence in all the body parts of the plant. There is no place in the plant that the soul of the plant does not exist. So there is all presence. And because of all that presence, the soul of the plant has got all the knowledge about all his body parts. Correct or right or wrong? Yes? Yes, Kashif? I said, when you look at the plant has a soul. And the soul of the plant has got full presence in all parts of the plant. There is no epsilon of the plant which is lacking the soul of the plant. So, look, if you cut a little bit of one of the branches of the plant, after a few hours or days, it dries up. Because the soul does not have any existence in that branch anymore. But similarly, you look at animals. Animals have got full presence in their own body. And if you look at ourselves, we also have full presence in our body. We are present in all parts of our body. Correct? We are even fully present in our imagination. Are we not? Can we say we are absent in our imagination? Can you imagine something and you be absent of it? Can you be absent in your intellect? You are full present in all levels of our wujud. In all levels of our existence, we are existing. So that was the meaning of samadiyat. I explained to you in the last MNC. Samadiyat means full presence, and the same way that we are fully present in all our existence, all our levels of existence, from sensual levels, from material level, from imaginal level to intellectual level, so are the animals, so is the plant. And this is samadiyat. So is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in all his creation. That is the meaning of samadiyat of Allah. So there is no epsilon in the whole creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he is absent in it. He is all present in it. So when you look at the plant is full presence. Because of full presence, plant has all the knowledge about all his body parts. Correct? So foundation of knowledge is presence. And when it comes to soul is about presence. Soul means presence. Sometimes we think, what is soul? Sometimes we cannot understand, we cannot define soul. Basically, one of the meanings of the soul is presence. Okay, come in. And we discussed another rule. Remember, this was very important philosophical rule. كل عاقل مجرد وكل مجرد عاقل. Every disengaged is intellectual and every intellectual is disengaged. Agree? I mean, you remember? So that means we are intellectual. Have got intellect and we are intellectual. So that is why we are disengaged. And matter is not disengaged, because what is disengagement? What is disengagement? Tajarrud. Masume, what is it? No. No, the definition, no, that is the process. Disengagement or tajarrud, dissociation from matter is this tajarrud or disengagement. So matter itself cannot be mujarrad, because the whole association is with matter to become engaged. So when you go to higher levels, for instance, in imaginal level, there is a level of dissociation from matter. What was the particulars of imaginal level? Ahsan. There continues to be dimension, continues to be image in imaginal level, but there is no what do you call? There is no density, and there is not what is called tazahum. There is no tazahum of matter. Tazahum is when I cannot pass my hand from the other side of it. So this is called tazahum. Okay? So in imaginal level, there is not such a thing, does not exist. Yeah, you can pass through the walls when you're in barzakh. Or in barzakh, 100 people can sit on the same table. Okay? And all of them can be seen at the same time. So all intellectuals are disengaged, and all disengaged are intellectual. I want team leaders, please work in these 2 weeks to make this concept known by your members. And the other thing was, remember we spoke something about great paradox of matter. What is the great paradox of matter? Who remembers? No, two paradox. There are two paradoxes. There are one, that's one of them. That's one side. One, yeah. Paradox of matter, or in another word I also named it, chamber of deception. Matter is chamber of deception. Or in Quran it's called it Darul Ghurur. Right? Ghurur means when you look at it, you do not see the reality of it. You only see the appearance of it. So the great paradox of matter is, while it beholds potentiality, matter beholds potentiality. That means all the wujud, existence, is coming from the potentiality when you look at the things. While it's such a good thing, so while it can create, matter is the source of our perfection, is the source of our ascension, is the source of our kamal and completion. But at the same time, the same matter is the source of deception. How it is the source of deception? It can, because it is the source of absence, ignorance. We said because presence is needed for knowledge. When something is fully absent, that is means it is ignorant or jahil. And because of that jahl and ignorance, it is dark, right? Because we have spoken about nur is about knowing and knowledge, and darkness is about ignorance and not knowing. So material word is a word of darkness, is a word of absence, ignorance, darkness. What else do you remember? Distance, deception, zulmat, wahshat, all of this, correct? So this is the great, that was called the and how is matter affecting our life? We said in the 5 levels, in the 5 senses, matter can create and use diversity and deceive people. And do you remember who remembers how was Shaitan using his tools to take human beings to hell? What was the tool of Shaitan? That's correct, but in the context of MNC that we have had, I want the answer from you. You have had previous MNC, sorry? These are very general things. In context of MNC that we spoke. Yes? Shamsir. Ahsan. So what does shaitan do? Shaitan only makes things look good, right? And it's when we say matter is darul ghurur, means it does not, you cannot see the reality of it. Shaitan makes it look good, right? And shaitan does that in all the five senses. And what was the role of animal soul in this? Who remembers? Yes. Shaitan? Say it again. I have hearing problem. Not that shaitan lies at animals. You're close, but not quite. Yes. Sorry. Let me tell you who says that. Yes. Okay. Arafat. That's right. There is still one more explanation to that. Yes, Sister Nika. That's correct, but it's not what I was expecting to hear. Men? Hopeless. Please, yes, Zakir. No, let me tell you. No more. The role of animalistic soul was, the faculties of animalistic soul are able only to detect araz or zahir or appearance. You remember we said appearance and reality. We said animalistic soul can only detect, the five senses of animalistic soul, five faculties of animalistic soul can only deal with araz, with zahir, with an appearance. Whereas we need the human soul to see the reality of things. So that intellectual human soul is what is being used for understanding the reality of things. So what I wanted to connect this together, animalistic soul is being used by shaitan. That means the more we feed our animalistic soul, the stronger the shaitan becomes. The stronger shaitan becomes, the more we detect the zahir and appearance of things. And through the five senses, that these are all faculties of animalistic soul, shaitan creates things look good to us. Not only image-wise. Masalan, we might see something and the thing is good, but also hearing-wise. You might listen to some music and shaitan makes it look good to you. Or you might taste something. For instance, when you see a sizzling sausage, this is my usual example, in front of warehouse, and when you want to eat it, that taste, shaitan makes it look tasty. But it is your human soul that must be present there to tell you, okay, even the zahir of it could be very tasty and good, but the reality of it is harmful. So shaitan uses the five senses, and through creation of diversities of all types, different types, makes things look good to us. These are some names: music, entertainment, computer games, internet, movies, money, clothing, technology, chatting, iPod, TV. You guys, all of you know all of this, don't you? Because all the time I can see you're all on Facebook, and I can see all of you on chat, and a lot of you, not all of you. I know some of you may block me, but I don't name anyone anyway. And when you go to shopping, it's all your animalistic soul are so busy in shopping, that is where that role of want and need is being replaced. That is when you forget that you don't need it and you want it. And these are all material diversity when it comes to food. And then you go, as I said, we have to eat, and definitely eating is important and is wajib even, right? But when you go out to the supermarket and look at the variety and diversity they are presenting for your tasting parts. And similarly, we have seen all this before. And of course, one of the sides of that. Why is this become so loud? Ali, what are you doing here? So the issue of celebrity is one of those things Okay. So this diversity which exists in the material world is being used by Shaitan, and by making them look good into all our five senses, it creates that unwanted results that ends up in drug and in corruption and into all those things that I spoke last week about. It. I show you quite a few images of them. So going back to characteristic of matter was no idrak, full of diversity, all darkness, all wahshat, ignorance, distance, absence. Right? These were basically the main part of my talk. So we have been 36 minutes, so I'll finish here. And I put a video clip for you. You watch the video, and then I give you team questions. And then after it finishes, I also give that topic that I want the team leaders work in the next 2 weeks, inshallah, for preparing for their Hajj for next year. Al Muhammad wa al Muhammad salawat.